Open your ears!
For which of you will stop the vent of hearing when loud rumor speaks? Upon my tongue's continual slanders ride, the which in every language I pronounce, stuffing the ears of men with false reports. I speak of peace, while covert enmity, under the smile of safety, wounds the world. So why is rumor here?
When everything's ended, then you come.
I run before King Harry's victory, who, in a bloody field by Shrewsbury, hath beaten down young Hotspur and his troops, quenching the flame of bold rebellion, e'en with the rebels' blood. But what mean I to speak so true at first? My office is to noise abroad that Harry Monmouth fell under the wrath of noble Hotspur's sword, and that the king, before the Douglas rage, stooped his anointed head as low as death. This have I rumored through the peasant towns, between that royal field of Shrewsbury and this worm-eaten hole of ragged stone, where Hotspur's father, old Northumberland, lies crafty sick. The post come tiring on, and not a man of them brings other news than they have learned of me. From rumor's tongues they bring smooth comforts false, worse than true wrongs.
What news, Lord Bardolph? Every minute now should be the father of some stratagem. The times are wild. Contention, like a horse full of high feeding, madly it broke loose and bears down all before him.
Noble Earl, I bring you certain news from Shrewsbury.
Good and God will.
As good as heart can wish. The king is almost wounded to the death. And in the nature of my lord your son, Prince Harry, slain outright. And both the bloods killed by the hand of Douglas. Young Prince John and Westmoreland and Stafford fled the field. And Harry Monmouth's brawn, the Hulk Sir John, is prisoner to your son.
How is this derived? Saw you the field? Came you from Shrewsbury?
I spake with one my lord that came from thence, and freely rendered me these news for true.
Here comes my servant Morton, who I sent on Tuesday last and listened afternoon. Yea, this man's brow, like to a title leaf, foretells the nature of a tragic volume. Say, Morton, hast thou come from Shrewsbury?
I ran from Shrewsbury, my noble lord, where hateful death put on his ugliest mask to fright our party.
How doth my son and brother? Thou tremblest, and the whiteness in thy cheek is after than thy tongue to tell thy errand. This thou wouldst say, your son did thus and thus, your brother thus, so fought the noble Douglas, stuffing my greedy ear with their bold deeds. But in the end, to stop my ear indeed thou hast decided to blow away this praise, saying, brother, son, and all are dead?
The Douglas is living, and your brother yet. But for my lord your son.
Why, he is dead? There's a strange confession in thine eye. Thou shakest thy head and holdst it fear or sin to speak a truth. If he be slain, say so. The tongue offends not that reports his death, and he doth sin that doth belie the dead, not he which says the dead is not alive.
I cannot think, my lord, your son is dead.
I am sorry I should force you to believe that which I would to God I had not seen, but these mine eyes saw him in bloody state, rendering faint quittance, wearied and out of breath to Harry Monmouth, whose swift wrath beat down the never-daunted Percy to the earth, from whence with life he never more sprung up. The sum of all is the king hath won, and sends a speedy power to encounter you, my lord, under the conduct of young Lancaster and Westmoreland. This is the news at full.
For this I shall have time enough to mold. In poison there's physic, and these news having been well, it should have made me sick. Being sick have in some measure made me well. Now bind my brows with ire, and approach the raggedst hour that time and spite dare bring, to frown upon them raged Northumberland. Let heaven kiss earth. Now let not nature's hand keep the wild blood confined. Let order die.
This brilliant passion doth you wrong, my lord. Sweet Earl, divorce not wisdom from your honor.
The lives of all your loving complices lean on your health, the which if you give o'er to stormy passion must perforce decay. You cast the event of war, my noble lord, and summed the account of chance before you said, let us make head. It was your presurmise that in the dole of blows your son might drop. You knew he walked o'er perils on an edge more likely to fall in than to get o'er. Yet did you say, go forth. And none of this, though strongly apprehended, could restrain that stiff-born action. So what hath then befallen? Or what hath this bold enterprise brought forth more than that being which was like to be?
We all that are engaged into this loss knew that we ventured on such dangerous seas that if we wrought our life 'twas 10 to 1. And yet we ventured for the gain proposed. And since we are overset, venture again. Come, we will all put forth body and goods.
I do hear for certain, and speak the truth. The gentle Archbishop of York is up with well-appointed powers. He is a man who with a double surety binds his followers. And my lord your son had only but the corpse, but the shadows and shows of men to fight. For that same word, rebellion, did separate the actions of their bodies from their souls. But now the bishop turns insurrection to religion, calls from heaven his quarrels and his cause, tells them he doth bestride a bleeding land, gasping for life under great Bolingbroke, and more and less do flock to follow him.
I knew of this before, but to speak true, this present grief had wiped it from my mind. Go in with me, and counsel every man the aptest way for safety and revenge. Get post and letters, and make friends with speed. Never so few, never yet more need.
Bottle of wine, fruit of the vine. When you gonna let me get sober? Sirrah, you giant! What says the doctor to my water?
He said, sir, the water itself was a good, healthy water. But for the party that owed it, he might have more diseases than he knew for.
Men of all kinds take a pride to gird at me. The brain of this foolish compounded clay man is not able to invent anything that tends to laughter more than I invent, or is invented upon me. I'm not only witty in myself, but the cause that wit lies in other men. I do here walk before thee like a sow that has overwhelmed all her litter but one. If the prince put thee into my service for any other reason than to set me off, why then I have no judgment. He may keep his own grace, but he's almost out of mine, I can assure him. Where's Bardolph?
He's gone into Smithfield to buy your worship a horse.
I buy him in Paul's, he buys me a horse in Smithfield. Could I get a wife in the stews, I'd be man, horse, and wife.
Sir, here comes the nobleman that committed the prince for striking him.
Wait, close, I will not see him.
What's he that goes there?
Falstaff, and please your worship.
He that was in question for the robbery at Gad's Hill?
He, my lord, but he hath since done good service at Shrewsbury, and as I hear, is now going with some charge to the Lord John of Lancaster.
What, to York? Call him back again.
Sir John Falstaff.
Boy, tell him I'm deaf.
You must speak louder. My master is deaf.
I am sure he is to the hearing of anything good. Go, come him by the elbow. I must speak with him.
Sir John?
What? A young knave and begging?
You mistake me, sir.
Why? Did I say you were an honest man? Setting my knighthood and my soldiership aside, I had lied in my throat if I had said so.
God pray you, sir, then set your knighthood and your soldiership aside and give me leave to tell you that you lie in your throat if you say I'm any other than an honest man.
I give you leave to tell me so. If thou gettest any leave of me, hang me. If thou takest any leave, thou wert better hang. You hunt, counter, hence, avaunt!
Sir John Falstaff, a word with you.
My good lord! It is good to see your lordship abroad. I heard say your lordship was sick, and your lordship, being not clean past his youth, hath yet some smack of age in you. I must humbly beseech your lordship to have a reverent care of your health.
Sir John, I sent for you before your expedition to Shrewsbury.
Then to please your lordship, I hear his majesty has returned with some discomfort from Wales.
I talk not of his majesty. You would not come when I sent for you.
And I hear, moreover, he has fallen into the same horse and apoplexy.
Well, God mend him. I pray you, let me speak with you.
It hath its original from much grief, study, and perturbation of the brain. It is a kind of deafness.
I think you are fallen into the disease, for you hear not what I say to you.
Very well, my lord, very well, and rather to please you, it is the disease of not listening that I am troubled withal.
To punish you by the heels would amend the attention of your ears, and I care not if I do become your physician.
I am as poor as Job, my lord, but not so patient.
Well, the truth is, Sir John, you live in great infamy. You have misled the youthful prince.
The young prince has misled me. I am the man with the great belly, and he my dog.
You follow the young prince up and down like his ill angel.
Not so. Your ill angel is light, but I hope that he that looks upon me will take me without weighing. You that are old, consider not the capacities of us that are young. You do measure the heat of our livers with the bitterness of your galls. And those of us that are wayward in our youth, I must confess, are wags too.
Do you set down your name in the scroll of youth that are written down old with all the characters of age? A moist eye, a dry hand, a decreasing leg, an increasing belly, and will you yet call yourself young? Fie, Sir John.
My lord, I was born at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon with a white head and something of a round belly. For the box on the ear that the prince gave you, he gave it like a rude prince, and you took it like a sensible lord. I have checked him for it, and the young lion repents.
Well, God send the prince a better companion.
God send the companion a better prince. I cannot rid my hands of him.
Well, I hear the king hath severed you and Prince Harry. You are going with Lord John of Lancaster against the Archbishop and the Earl of Northumberland.
If you will needs say that I am an old man, then you should let me rest. I would to God my name were not so terrible to the enemy as it is. 'Twere better to be eaten to death by rust than to be scoured to nothing by perpetual motion.
Well, be honest, and God bless your expedition.
Would your lordship lend me £1,000 to furnish me forth?
Not a penny! Not a penny! Fare you well. Commend me to my cousin, Westmoreland.
If I do, fill up me with a 3-man beetle. A man can no more separate age and covetousness than he can part young limbs and lechery. But a gout galls one and a pox pinches the other. Therefore both degrees prevent my curses. Boy!
Sir!
How much money is in my purse?
7 groats and 2 pence.
I can get no remedy of this consumption of the purse. Borrowing only lingers and lingers it on, but the disease is incurable. Here, this letter to the Lord of Lancaster, and this one to the Prince, this one to the Earl of Westmoreland, and this one to old Mistress Ursula, whom I have sworn weekly to marry since I perceived the first gray hair on my chin. About it, you know where to find me. Oh, pox of this gout. Or a gout of this pox, for one or the other plays a rogue with my great toe. But 'tis no matter if I do halt. I have the wars to blame for my color, and my pension will seem all the more reasonable. Good wit can make use of anything. I will turn diseases into commodity.
Thus you've heard our cause, and known our means. And my most noble friends, I pray you all, speak plainly your opinions of our hopes. And first, my Lord Marshal, what say you to it?
I will allow the occasion of our arms, but gladly we'd be better satisfied how, in our means, we should advance ourselves to look with forehead bold and beat up upon the power and puissance of the king.
Our present musters grow upon the file to 25,000 men of choice, and our supplies live largely in the hope of great Northumberland, whose bosom burns with an insensate fire of injuries.
The question then, Lord Hastings, standeth thus, whether our present 25,000 may hold up head without Northumberland.
Grant that our hopes, yet likely of fair birth, should be stillborn, and that we now possess the utmost man of expectation. I think we are a body strong enough, even as we are, to equal with the king.
What is the king but 25,000?
Was no more. Nay, not so much, Lord Bardolph, for his divisions, as the times do brawl, are in 3 heads. One power against the French, one against Glendower. Perforce a third must take up us. So is the unfirm king in 3 divided, and his coffers sound with hollow poverty and emptiness.
That he should draw his several strings together and come against us in full puissance need not be dreaded.
If he should do so, he leaves his back unarmed, the French and Welsh baying him at the heels. Never fear that.
Who is it like should lead his forces hither?
The Duke of Lancaster and Westmoreland. Against the Welsh, himself and Harry Monmouth, but who is substitute against the French, I have no certain notice.
Let us on, and publish the occasion of our arms. The Commonwealth are sick of their own choice. O thou fond many, with what loud applause didst thou beat heaven with blessing Bolingbroke before he was what thou wouldst have him be. They that when Richard lived would have him die are now become enamored on his grave. Criest now, O earth, yield us that king again, and take thou this. O thoughts of men accursed, past and to come seems best, things present worst.
Let us draw our numbers up and settle.
We are time subjects, and time bids be gone.
Master Klein, have you entered the action?
It is entered.
Where's your yeoman? Is't a lusty yeoman? Is he up to it?
There! We must arrest Sir John Falstaff.
Nay, good master Snare. I have entered him and all.
It may chance cost some of us our lives, for he was stabbed.
Ah! He stabbed me in mine own house, and that most beastly.
If I can close with him, I care not for his thrust.
Nor I neither. I'll be at your elbow.
And I but fist him once, and I get him in my vice.
I am undone by his going. 100 mark is a long one for poor lone widow to bear, and I have borne, and borne, and borne, and I have been fobbed off, and fobbed off, and fobbed off. From this day to that day, so it's a shame to be thought on. Oh, look, where yonder he comes. Master Snare, Master Fang, do me your offices.
How now? Whose mare is dead? What's the matter?
Sir John, I arrest you at the suit of Mistress Quickly.
Away, varlets! Bardolph, cut me off the villain's head! Throw the queen in the channel!
Throw me in the channel. I'll throw you in the channel. You have seen. Oh, wilt thou? You have Bayley, you Australian.
What's the matter? Take the piece here. Oh!
Good, my lord. Be good to me. I beseech you, stand.
Now, Sir John, what are you brawling here? Does this become your person, your time, and business? You should have been well on your way to York. Abstain from him, fellow. Wherefore hangst upon him.
Oh, most merciful lord, and it please your grace, I am a poor lone widow of East Cheap, and he is arrested at my suit.
For what sum?
It is more than for some, my lord. It is for all I have. He hath eaten me out of house and home. He hath taken all my substance and put it into that fat belly of his. But I will have some of it out again, or I'll ride the nights like the mare.
I think I'm as like to ride the mare if I have any vantage of ground to get up.
How comes this, Sir John? Fun! Are you not ashamed to enforce a poor widow to so rough a course to come by her own?
What is the gross sum I owe thee?
Honest, if you were an honest man, myself and the money too. Thou didst swear to me upon a parcel gilt goblet, sitting in my dolphin chamber at the round table by a sea coal fire on Wednesday in Whitsun week. Thou didst swear to me then to marry me and make me my lady thy wife. Canst thou deny it? And did you not kiss me and bid me fetch thee 30 shillings? I put thee out of thy book oath, deny it if thou canst.
My lord, this is a poor, mad soul. She hath been in good case, and the truth is poverty hath distracted her. But for these foolish officers, I must ask you to have redress against them.
Sir John, I am well acquainted with your manner of wrenching the true cause the false way. You have, as it appears to me, practiced upon the easy-yielding spirit of this woman, and made her serve your uses both in purse and in person.
Aye, in good truth.
Pray you peace! Pay her the debt you owe her, and unpay the villainy you have done her. The one you may do with sterling money, and the other with current repentance.
My lord, I will not undergo this sneap without reply. I say to you, I do desire deliverance from these officers, being upon hasty employment of the king's affairs.
You speak as one empowered to do wrong, but answer in the effect of your reputation and satisfy this poor woman.
Come hither, hostess.
Oh, Master Gower, what news?
The king and Prince Harry are close at hand, and birth paper tells.
As I am a gentleman.
In faith, you said so before.
As I am a gentleman. Come, no more words on it. Let it be 10 pounds if thou canst. Come, 'twere not for thy humours. There's not a better wench in all of England. Go, wash your face and draw the action. Come, thou must not be in this humour with me. Dost not know me? I know thou was set on to do this.
Oh, prithee, Sir John, let it be but 20 noble in good truth,
Oh, leave it alone. I'll make other shift. You be a fool still.
Well, you shall have it, though I pawn my gown. I hope you'll come to supper. You pay me all together.
Will I live? Go with her, hold on.
Wilt thou have a doll tearsheet?
No more words. Let's have her.
I have heard better news.
What's the news, my lord?
Where did the king last night?
At Basingstoke, my lord.
What is the news, my lord?
Come all his forces back.
No. 1,500 foot, 500 horse are marched up to my lord of Lancaster against Northumberland and the Archbishop.
Comes the king back from Wales, my noble lord.
You shall have letters of me presently. Come, go along with me, good Master Gower.
My lord!
What is the matter?
Master Gower, shall I entreat you with me to dinner?
I must wait upon my good lord here. Thank you, good Sir John.
Sir John, you loitered here too long, being you are to take soldiers up in counties as you go.
Will you sup with me, Master Gower?
What foolish master taught you these manners, Sir John?
Master Gower, if they become me not, he was a fool that taught them me. This is the right fencing grace, my lord, tap for tap, so part fair.
Before God, I am exceeding weary. It's come to that? I had thought weariness does not overtake one of so high blood.
Faith, it does me, though it discolors the complexion of my greatness to acknowledge it. Does it not show vitally in me to desire small beer?
Why, a prince should not be so loosely studied as to remember so weak a composition.
But like then, my appetite was not princely got. For by my troth, I do now remember that poor creature's small beer. But indeed, these humble considerations make me out of love with my greatness. What a disgrace is it to me to remember thy name, or to know thy face tomorrow.
How ill it follows. After you've labored so hard, you talk so idly. Tell me, how many good young princes would do so, their fathers being as sick as yours at this time is?
Shall I tell thee one thing, Poins?
Yes, hey, let it be an excellent good thing.
It shall serve among wits of no higher breeding than thine.
Go to. I stand the push of your one thing that you can tell.
Mary, I tell thee it is not meet that I should be sad now my father is sick. Albeit I could tell thee as to one it pleases me for fault of a better to call my friend. I could be sad, and sad indeed too.
Very hardly upon such a subject.
And this hand, thou thinkest me as far in the devil's book as thou and Falstaff for obduracy and persistency. Let the end try the man. But I tell thee, my heart bleeds inwardly that my father is so sick. And keeping such vile company as thou art, hath within reason taken from me all ostentation of sorrow.
No reason?
What wouldst thou think of me if I should weep?
I would think thee a most princely hypocrite.
It would be every man's thought. And thou art a blessed fellow to think as every man thinks. And what excites your most worshipful thought to think so?
Why? Because you've been so lewd and so much engraft to Falstaff.
To thee?
Well, by this light I am well spoken on. The worst that they can say of me is that I am a second brother and that I am a proper fellow of my hands. And those two things I confess I cannot help. Oh, by the mass, here comes Bardolph.
And the boy I gave Falstaff. He had him for me Christian and look if the fat villain have not transformed him an ape.
God save your grace.
And yours, most noble Bardolph.
Come, you virtuous ass, you bashful fool. Must you be blushing? Wherefore you blush now? What a maidenly man that you become. Is such a matter to get upon the false maidenhead?
He calls me Eden now, my lord, through a red lattice, and I can discern no part of his face from the window. At last I spied his eyes, and methought he had made 2 holes in the alewife's new petticoat, and so peep-pow! Has that the boy profited?
Away, you horse, and upright rabbit, away!
Away, you rascally Althea's dream, away!
Instruct us, boy! What dream, boy?
Nary, my lord, Althea dreamed she was delivered of a firebrand, and therefore I call him her dream.
A crown's worth of good interpretation. There it is, boy. How doth thy master, Bardolph?
Well, my lord, he heard your grace is coming to town. There's a letter for you.
I do allow this wen to be as familiar with me as my dog. And he holds his place, for look you how he writes.
John Falstaff, knight. Every man must know that as oft as he has occasion to name himself.
But to the letter. Sir John Falstaff, knight to the son of the king nearest his father, Harry, Prince of Wales, greeting.
Why, this is a certificate.
Peace. I will imitate the honorable Romans in brevity.
He sure gives brevity in breath. Short-winded.
I commend me to thee, I commend thee, and I leave thee. Be not too familiar with Poins, for he misuses thy favors so much that he swears thou art to marry his sister Nell. Repent at idle times as thou mayest, and so farewell. Thine by yea and no, which is as much as to say as thou usest him, John Falstaff, with my brothers and sisters, Jack Falstaff with my familiars, and Sir John with all your
my lord. I'll steep this letter in sack and make him eat
That's
it.
to make him eat 20 of his words. But do you use me thus, Ned? Must I marry your sister?
God send the wench no worse fortune, but I never said so.
Is your master here in London?
Yea, my lord.
Where's Upsy? Does the old boar feed in the old French?
In the old place, my lord. He needs sheep.
Sup any women with him?
None, my lord, except old Mistress Quickly and Mistress Doll Tearsheet.
What pagan may that be?
A proper gentlewoman, sir, and a kinswoman of my master's.
Even such kin as the parish heifers are to the town bull. Shall we steal upon them, Ned, at supper?
I understand, my lord. I'll follow you.
Sirrah, you boy, and Bardolph, no word to your master that I have yet come to town. There's for your silence.
I have no tongue.
As for mine, sir, I will govern it.
Very well, go! This dull Tearsheet should be some rogue.
I warned you, as common as the wave between St. Albans and London.
How might we see Falstaff bestow himself tonight in his true colors and not ourselves be seen?
Put on 2 leather jerkins and aprons and wait upon him at his table as drawers.
From a prince to apprentice, a low transformation that shall be mine, for in everything the purpose must weigh with the folly. Oh, follow me, Ed.
I pray thee, loving wife and gentle daughter, give even way unto my rough affairs. Put not you on the visage of the times, and be like them to Percy troublesome.
I've given over, I will speak no more. Do as you will. Your wisdom be your guide.
Alas, sweet wife, my honor is at pawn, and but my going nothing can redeem it.
Oh, yes, for God's sake, go not to these wars. The time was, Father, that you broke your word when you were more endeared to it than now. When your own Percy, when my heart's dear Harry through many a northward looked to see his father bring up his powers, but he did long in vain. Who then persuaded you to stay at home? There were 2 honors lost, yours and your son's. For yours, the God of heaven brightened it. For his, it stuck upon him as the sun in the grey vault of heaven, and by his light did all the chivalry of England move to do brave acts. And him, oh wondrous him, oh miracle of men, him did you leave to look upon the hideous god of war in disadvantage, to abide a field where nothing but the sound of Hotspur's name did seem defensible. So you left him. Never, oh never do his ghost the wrong to hold your honor more precise and nice with others than with him. Let them alone. The Marshal and the Archbishop are strong. Had my sweet Harry had but half their numbers, today might I, hanging on Hotspur's neck, have talked of Monmouth's grave.
Beshrew your heart, fair daughter. You do draw my spirits from me with new lamenting ancient oversights. But I must go meet with danger there, or it will find me in another place, and find me worse provided.
Oh, fly to Scotland, till that the nobles and the armed commons have of their puissance made a little taste.
If they gain ground and vantage of the king, then join you with them, like a rib of steel, to make strength stronger. But for all our loves, first let them try themselves. So did your son. He was so suffered. So came I, a widow, and never shall have length of life enough to reign upon remembrance with mine eyes.
Come, come, go in with me. Fain would I go to meet the Archbishop, but many thousand reasons hold me back. I will resolve for Scotland. There am I, till time and vantage crave my company.
Sarah! Here will be the Prince and Master Poins and Alan, and they will put on 2 of our jerkins and aprons, and Sir John must not know of it. Bardolph hath brought word.
By the maps, it will be an excellent stratagem.
In faith, sweetheart, methinks now thou art in an excellent temporality. Your pulsage beats as extraordinarily as heart would desire. And your color, I'll warrant you, is as red as any rose. Yeah, in the truth law. But in faith, you have drunk too much canaries. How do you sound?
Oh, better than I was.
Well, that's well said. A good heart's worth gold.
Rambling around
Yonder
this
comes Sir John.
dirty old town. Empty the Jordan. Playing for nickels and dimes. Oh, now, Mistress Doll.
Sick of a calm in good faith.
So is with all her sect. They be once in a calm and they are sick.
Oh, you muddy rascal! Is that all the comfort you give me?
You make fat rascals, dog.
Oh, I make them. Gluttony and diseases make them. I make them not.
If the cook helped to make the diseases, or the gluttony, then you help to make the diseases. We catch of you, doll, we catch of you.
Yea, joy, and our chains, and our jewels.
And your pearls, brooches, and ouches, for to serve bravely is to come halting off. You know, to come off the breach with his pike half bent, bravely, and to surgery, bravely, and to venture upon the charge chambers, bravely.
Hang yourself, you muddy conjurer! Hang yourself!
This is the old-fashioned. You two could never meet, but you fall to some discord. You cannot one bear with the other's infirmities, but one must bear. And that must be you, doll. You are the weaker vessel, as they say, the emptier vessel.
Can a weak, empty vessel bear such a huge full hogshead? Oh, you have not seen a hulk better stuffed in the hold. Oh, come, Jack. I'll be friends with thee. Thou art going to the wars, and whether I see thee again or no, there is nobody cares.
Sir! Ancient pistol is below and would speak with you.
Hang him, swaggering rascal. Let him not come hither. It is the foul-mouthed rogue in England.
If he swagger, let him not come here. I have not lived all these years to have swaggering now. Shut the door, I pray you.
It does not hear, it is mine ancient.
And your ancient swaggerer comes not in my doors. I'll no swaggering.
He's no swaggerer, hostess, a tame cheater of faith. Call him up, Troy.
I will warn my house to no honest man, nor no cheater either, but I do not like swaggering. I am the worst. When one says swagger, feel, doll, feel. Oh, I shake. Look you, I warn you.
So do you, hostess.
Oh, do I? Indeed do I. And 'twere an aspen leaf. I cannot abide swaggering.
God save you, Sir John! Ancient pistol! Here, pistol, I charge you with a cup of sack. Do you discharge upon mine hostess?
I will discharge upon her, Sir John, with 2 bullets!
Sir, she is pistol-proof. You shall hardly offend her.
I'll drink no proofs, nor no bullets for no man's pleasure.
Then to you, Mistress Dorothy, I will charge you!
Charge me! I scorn you, scurvy companion. Away, you moldy rogue, away! I am meat for your master.
I know you, Mistress Dorothy.
Since when, I pray you, God's light, with 2 points on your shoulder? Much.
God, let me not live, but I will murder your brother.
No more, pistol. I will not have you go up here. I will not have you discharge yourself of our company.
No, good Captain Pistol. Not here, sweet Captain.
Captain! How abominable, damn it, cheater! Are thou not ashamed to be called a captain? You a captain for what? For tearing a poor horse rough in a bawdy house? He a captain, God, fight!
Pray you go down, good ancient.
Hark thee hither, Mistress
Not I. I tell thee what, Corporal Bardolph, I could tear her. I'll be revenged of her.
Pray thee, go down.
I'll see her damned first to Pluto's damned lake by this hand.
Well, these are very bitter words, Captain.
Be gone, good ancient. This will grow to a brawl anon.
Then feed and be fat, my fair Callipolis. Come, give some sack. Si fortuna me tormente, sperato me contento. Give me some sack. Sweetheart. Lie thou there. Come we to full points here, and our et cetera's nothing?
Pistol, I would be quiet.
Oh, sweet night, I kiss thy knee Why, we have seen the 7 stars.
For God's sake, thrust him downstairs. I cannot endure such a fusty rascal.
Thrust him downstairs? Know we not Galloway nags?
Hoist him down, Bardolph. Nay, he do nothing but say nothing, and he shall be nothing here.
Come get you downstairs.
What? Shall we have incision? Shall we imbrue? Then death rock me to sleep, abridge my doleful days. Why then let grievous, ghastly, gaping wounds untwine the sisters 3? Come, Atropos, I say!
Quickly stop, Torn!
Give me my rapier, boy!
I pray thee, Jack, I pray thee, do not draw!
Alas! Alas! Put up thy naked weapons! Put up thy naked weapons!
No!
Get thee downstairs.
She's
Oh, I pray thee, Jack, be quiet! The rascal is gone. You, horsed little valiant villain, you!
Art thou not hurt in the groin? Methought he made a shrewd thrust at thy belly.
Did you turn him out of doors?
Yea, the rascal's drunk. You have hurt him, sir, in the shoulder.
Rascally slave, I would toss the rogue in a blanket.
And thou dost, I'll canvas thee between a pair of sheets.
The music is come, sir.
Let him play. Play, sir. Sit by me, doll. Rascally, bragging slave, he frets from me like quicksilver.
In faith, and thou followest him like a church, thou horsed little tiny Bartholomew poor pig. When wilt thou leave fighting a days and foining a nights, and begin to patch up thine old body for heaven?
Peace, good doll. Do not speak like a death's head. Do not bid me remember mine end.
Sirrah, what humor is the prince of?
He's a good shallow fellow. He would have made a good pantler. He would have chipped bread well.
They say Poins has a good wit.
He a good wit. Hang on the baboon. His wit's as thick as a Tewksbury mustard. There's no more conceit in him than is in a mallet.
Oh, then why does the prince love him so then?
Because he has a weak mind and an able body. For that the prince admits him. For the prince is one such himself.
Would not this knave of a Wyll have his ears cut off, beaten before his horse? Look, whether the withered elder hath not his poll clawed like a parent. Is it not strange that desire should so many years outlive performance?
Kiss me, doll. Thou dost give me flattering busses.
By my troth, I kiss thee with the most constant heart.
I'm old. I'm old.
Oh, I love thee better than I loved ere a scurvy young boy of them all.
Thou'lt forget me when I'm gone.
By my troth, thou setst me a weeping, and thou sayest so. Well, hearken at the end.
Some sack, Francis! Ah, bastard son of the kings! Oh, and art thou now Poins, his brother?
Why, thou globe of sinful continents, what a life dost thou lead?
Better than thou. I am a gentleman. Thou art a drawer.
Very true, sir. I come to draw you out by the ears.
Mad horse and compound of majesty, by this light flesh and corrupt blood, thou art welcome.
Now, you fat fool, I scorn you.
My lord, he will drive you out of your revenge and turn all to merriment if you take up the heat. Why, you horse and candle, mind you, how vilely did you dispraise me even now before this honest, virtuous, civil gentlewoman?
Bless your kind heart, and so she is by my troth.
Didst thou hear me?
Yea, And you knew me as you did when you ran away by Gad's Hill. You knew I was at your back and spoke it on purpose to try my patience.
No, not so. I did not think thou wast within hearing.
I shall drive you then to confess the willful abuse, and then I know how to handle you.
No abuse, pal. On mine honor, no abuse.
Not to dispraise me and call me pantler and bread chipper and I know not what.
No abuse, pal.
No abuse?
Honest, Ned, none. I did dispraise him in front of the wicked so that the wicked might not fall in love with him, and in which doing I played the part of a careful friend and a true subject. Thy father is to give me thanks for it.
Is she of the wicked? Or is thine hostess here of the wicked? Or is thy boy of the wicked? Or honest Bardolph, whose zeal burns in his nose, of the wicked?
Answer, thou dead elm!
Answer! Well, the fiend has picked up Bardolph irrecoverable. And the boy has a good angel about him, but the devil outbids him too.
For the women?
Well, one of them is in hell already and burns, poor soul. And for the other, I owe her money, and whether she be damned for that, I know not.
No, I warrant you.
No, I think thou art not. Thou art quit for that.
You, gentlewoman.
Ooh, what says your grace?
His grace says that which his flesh rebels against.
Hito! How now? What news?
The king your father is at Westminster, and 20 weak and wearied posts come from the north. And as I came along, I met and overtook a dozen captains, bareheaded, sweating, knocking at taverns and asking everyone for Sir John Falstaff.
By heaven, Poins, I feel me much to blame, so idly to profane the precious time. Falstaff, good night.
Now comes the sweetest morsel of the night, and we must hence and leave it unpicked. How now, what's the news?
You must wait at court, sir, presently. A dozen captains stay at the door for you.
Well, you see, good wenches, how men of merit are sought after. The undeserver may sleep while the man of action is called on. Fare thee well, good wenches. If I be not sent away post, I will see thee ere I go.
I cannot speak if my heart be not afraid to burst. Oh, sweet Jack, have care of thyself.
Farewell. Farewell.
Oh, fare thee well. I have known thee these 29 years since peace-con time, and an honester, truer-hearted gentleman. Well, fare thee well.
Mistress Tearsheet!
Oh, what is the matter?
Mistress Tearsheet, come to my master!
Oh, don't! Run, Doll, run!
Go call Lord Warwick and the Lord Chief Justice, and bid them, ere they come, or read these letters, and well consider of them. Make good speed. How many thousand of my poorest subjects are at this hour asleep? Oh, sleep. Gentle sleep, nature's soft nurse, how have I frighted thee, that thou no more wilt weigh my eyelids down, steep my senses in forgetfulness? Wilt thou upon the high and giddy mast seal up the ship boy's eyes, rock his brains in cradle of the rude imperious surge, till with the hurly death itself awakes? Canst thou, O partial sleep, give thy repose to the wet sea boy in an hour so rude, and in the calmest and most stillest night deny it to a king? Unhappy low, lie down. Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown.
Many good morrows to your majesty.
Ah, yes. Is it good morrow, lords?
'Tis 1 o'clock and past.
Then good morrow to you all, my lords. Have you read o'er the letters that I sent you?
We have, my liege.
Then you perceive the body of our kingdom, how foul it is, what rank diseases grow, and with what danger near the heart of it.
It is but as a body yet distempered, which to his former strength may be restored with good advice and little medicine.
Oh.
My lord Northumberland will soon be cooled.
God, that one might read the book of fate and see the revolution of the times make mountains level and the continents weary of solid firmness, melt themselves into the sea. Oh, if this were seen, the happiest youth, viewing his progress through, what perils pass, what crosses to ensue, would shut the book and sit him down and die. 'Tis not 10 years gone since Richard and Northumberland, great friends, did feast together, and in 2 years after were they at wars. 'Tis but 8 years since when Richard, with his eye brimful of tears, then checked and rated by Northumberland, spoke these words, now proved a prophecy. Northumberland, thou ladder by the which my cousin Bolingbroke ascends my throne. Though then, God knows, I had no such intent, but that necessity so bode the state that I and greatness were compelled to kiss. The time will come, thus did he follow. The time shall come. The foul sin gathering head shall break into corruption. So went on, foretelling this same time's condition and the division of our amity.
There is a history in all men's lives figuring the nature of the times deceased, to which observed a man may prophesy with a near aim of the main chance of things as yet not come to life, which in their seeds and weak beginnings lie entreasured. Such things become the hatch and brood of time, and by necessary form of this, King Richard may create the perfect guess that great Northumberland, then false to him, would of that seed grow to a greater falseness which should not find a ground to root upon unless on you.
Are these things then necessities? Then let us meet them like necessities. That same word he now cries out on us. They say the Bishop in Northumberland are 50,000 strong.
It cannot be, my lord. Rumor doth double like the voice and echo the numbers of the feared. Please, your grace, to go to bed. On my soul, my lord, the powers you already have sent forth shall bring this prize in very easily. Your majesty hath been this fortnight ill, and these unseasoned hours perforce must add unto your sickness.
I will take your counsel, and were these inward wars once out of hand, we would, dear lords, unto the Holy Land.
Come on! Come on! Come on, sirs! And how doth my good cousin Silence?
Good morrow, good cousin.
I dare say my cousin William has become a good scholar. He is at Oxford still, is he not?
Indeed, sir, to my cost.
He must then to the Inns of Court shortly. I was once of Clement's Inn, where I think they will talk of Mad Shallow yet.
I think you were called Lusty Shallow then, cousin.
By the mass, I was called anything, and would do anything too, and roundly too. And I may say to you, we knew where the boner rovers were, and had the best of them, all at commandment. Then was Jack Falstaff, now Sir John, a boy and page.
This same Sir John, who comes hither and on about soldiers.
The same Sir John, the very same. Jesu, the mad days that I have spent, and to see how many of my old acquaintance are dead.
We shall all follow, cousin.
Certain. Death, as the psalmist saith, is certain to all. Is old Double of your town living?
Dead, sir.
Jesu. Dead.
Oh, yonder comes Sir John, as I think.
Good Sir John, by my troth, you like well, and bear your years very well. Welcome, good Sir John.
It is good to see you so well, Master Robert Shallow. Master Shorecard, as I think.
No, Sir John, it is my cousin Silence in commission.
Oh, good Master Silence. It well befits you should be of the peace.
Your good master is welcome.
Fie, this weather, gentlemen.
Oh,
Have you brought me here a half-dozen sufficient men?
Mary, have we, sir? Where is the roll? Where is the roll? Oh, yes. Let them appear as I call them. Let them do so. Let me see. Where is Ralph Mouldy?
Here, and please you.
Is thy name Moldy?
Yea, and please you.
Time that word used.
Most excellent, i' faith.
things that are moldy lack use. Very singular good.
Prick 'em! Moldy, it is time you were spent.
Peace, fellow, please stand aside. Know you where you are. For the other, Sir John, let me see. Simon Shadow.
Oh, yay, Mary, let me have him to stand under. He's like to be a cold soldier.
Where is Shadow?
Here, sir.
Whose son art thou, Shadow?
My mother's son, sir.
Do you like him, sir?
Shadow will serve for summer. Prick 'em!
Thomas Wart.
Where's he?
Oh, yes, sir.
Is thy name Wart?
Yes, sir.
Thou art a very bragging Wart.
Shall I prick him down, Sir John?
It would be superfluous. His whole frame stands upon pins. Prick him no more.
Francis Feeble.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Feeble! What trade art thou?
A woman's tailor, sir.
Shall I prick him, sir?
Will you put as many holes in an enemy's battle as thou hast put in a woman's petticoat?
I will give my goodwill. You can have no more.
Oh, thou will be as valiant as a wrathful dove or the most magnanimous mouse. Prick the woman's tailor. Deep, Master Shallow.
I would Wart might have gone, sir.
I would thou were a man's tailor. Then thou mightst mend him and make him fit to go. Let that suffice, most forcible Feeble.
It shall suffice, sir.
Who's next?
Peter Bullcalf of the Green.
Oh, Lord.
Dost thou roar before thou art pricked?
Oh, Lord, sir. I am a diseased man.
What disease hast thou?
A horse and cold, sir. A cough.
Come, thou wilt go to war in a gown, and we will have a way with thy cold. Is here all?
Here is 2 more gold than your number. You must have but 4 here, sir. And so I pray you go in with me to dinner.
Oh, come, I will drink with you, but I cannot tarry dinner. It is good to see you by my troth, Master Shallow.
Oh, Sir John, do you remember since we lay all night at the windmill in St. George's Field?
No more of that, Master Shallow. No more of that.
'Twas a merry night. And is Jane Nightwork alive?
She lives, Master Shallow.
By the mass, I could anger her to the heart. She was then a Ponoroba. Does she hold her own well?
Old, Master Shallow.
Nay, she must be old. She cannot choose but be old. It is certain she's old.
That must be 55 years ago.
Sir, Cousin Sanson, you would see that this night, and I have seen Sir John. Said I not well?
We have heard the chimes of midnight, Master Shallow.
That we have. In faith, Sir John, we have. Come, let's into dinner. Jesus, the days that we have seen.
Good Master Corporate Bardolph, sir. Stand by friend, and here's 4 hairy 10 shillings in French crowns for you. In very truth, sir, I'd as lief be hanged as go, sir. But for mine own part, I do not care, but rather because I am unwilling and have a desire to stay with my friends. But I do not care, sir, for mine own part so much.
Go to, stand aside.
And good Master Corporal Captain, for my old dame's sake, stand, my friend. She has nobody to do anything about her when I'm gone, and she is old and cannot help herself. You shall have 40, sir.
By my troth, I care not. A man can die but once, and we owe God a death. And it be my destiny so, and it be not so. No man is too good to serve his prince.
Well said, thou art a good fellow. Yeah, here, look at me.
Come, sir, which men shall I have?
4 of which you please.
Sir, a word. I have £3 to free Moldy and Bullcalf.
Go too. Well.
Come, Sir John. Which four will you have?
Do you choose for me?
And marry then. Moldy, bullcap, feeble, and shadow.
Well, for your part, Moldy, stay at home till you are past your prime. And for you, bullcap, grow until you come into it. I will none of you.
Sir John, do not yourself wrong. They are your likeliest men, and I would have you served with the best.
Will you tell me, Master Shallow, how to choose a man? Care I for the limbs, the thews, the stature, the bulk and big assemblage of a man? Give me the spare men and spare me the great ones. Put a caliver into Ward's hand, Bardolph.
Hold, Ward. Traverse. Thus,
Come, manage me your caliver. Well, exceeding well. Hold. Here's a tester for thee.
He is not his craftsmaster. He doth not do it right.
These fellows will do fine, Master Shallow. God keep you, Master Silence. I will not use many words with you. Thank you, gentlemen, both. I must a dozen mile tonight.
Sir John, the Lord bless you. God send us peace. At your return, visit our house. Let our old acquaintance be renewed. Peradventure, I will with you to the court.
Oh, for God, I would you would, Master Shallow.
God keep you.
Fare you well, gentlemen. Bardolph, lead the men away. As I return, I will fetch off these justices. I do see the bottom of Master Shallow. Oh, Lord, how subject we old men are to this vice of lying. This same starved justice did nothing but prate to me about the wildness of his youth. Every third word a lie. I do remember him at Clement's Inn like a man made after a supper of a cheese paring. When he was naked, he was for all the world like a forked radish with a head, fantastically carved on top with a knife. Oh, he was the very genius of famine, yet as lecherous as a monkey. All the whores called him Mandrake. Oh. And now this vice's dagger has become a squire? Has he now lands and beefs? I'll be acquainted with him if I return. And it may go hard, but I will make of him a philosopher's tombstones to me. If the young dace be but bait for the old pike, I see no reason why in the law of nature I should not but snap at him. Let time shape, and there an end.
What forest is this?
It is Galtree Forest, and shall please your grace.
Here stand, my lords, and send discoverers forth to know the numbers of our enemies.
They have sent forth already.
'Tis well done. My friends and brethren of these great affairs, I must acquaint you that I have received new dated letters from Northumberland. He is retired to ripe his growing fortunes to Scotland, and concludes in hearty prayers that your attempts may overlive the hazard and fearful melting of his opposite.
Rest of the hopes we have in him touch ground and dash themselves to pieces.
Now what news?
West of this forest, scarcely off a mile, in goodly form comes on the enemy, and by the ground they hide, I judge their number upon or near the rate of 30,000.
The just portion we gave them out. Let us sway on and face them in the field.
What well-appointed leader fronts us here?
believe it is my Lord Westmoreland.
Health and fair greeting from our general, the Prince, Lord John, and Duke of Lancaster.
Stay on, my lord of Westmoreland, in peace. What doth concern your coming?
Then, my lord, and to your grace do I in chief address the substance of my speech. You, Lord Archbishop, whose see is by a civil peace maintained, whose learning and good letters peace hath tutored, the dull and very blessed spirit of peace. Wherefore do you so ill translate yourself out of the speech of peace that bears such grace into the harsh and boisterous tongue of war, turning your books to graves, your ink to blood, your pens to lances, and your tongue divine to a trumpet and a point of war?
Wherefore do I this? So the question stands. Briefly to this end. We are all diseased, and with our surfeiting and wanton hours have brought ourselves into a burning fever, and we must bleed for it. Of which disease our late King Richard, being infected, died. But my most noble lord of Westmoreland, I take not on me here as a physician, nor do I as an enemy to peace troop in the throngs of military men, but rather show a while, like fearful war, to diet rank minds, sick of happiness, and purge the veins of our very veins of life. Hear me more plainly. We see which way the stream of time doth run, and are enforced from our most quiet place there by the rough torrent of occasion, and have the summary of all our griefs, which long ere this we offered to the king, and might by no suit gain our audience. We are denied access unto his person, even by those men that most have done us wrong. The dangers of the days but newly gone, whose memory is written on the earth with yet appearing blood, and the examples of every minute's instance, present now, hath put us in these ill-beseeming arms, not to break peace or any branch of it, but to establish here a peace indeed, concurring in both name and quality.
Whenever yet was your appeal denied? Wherein have you been galled by the king that you should seal this lawless, bloody book of forged rebellion with the seal divine, and consecrate commotion's bitter edge? There is no need for any such redress, or if there were, it not belongs to you.
Why not to him in part, and to us all that feel the bruises of the days before, and suffer the conditions of these times, to lay heavy and an equal hand upon our honor?
Oh, my good Lord Mowbray, construe the times to their necessities, and you shall say, indeed, it is the time, and not the king that doth your injuries. Here come I from our princely general to know your griefs, to tell you from his grace that he will give you audience, and wherein it appears that your demands are just, you shall enjoy them. Everything set off that might so much as think you enemies.
But he hath forced us to compel these offers, and they proceed from policy, not love.
Mowbray, you overween to take it so. This offer comes from mercy, not from fear.
By my will, we will admit no parley.
That argues but the shame of your offense. A rotten case abides no handling.
Hath the Prince John a full commission in very ample virtue of his father, to hear and absolutely to determine on what conditions we shall stand upon?
That is intended in the general's name. I muse you make so slight a question.
Then take, my lord of Westmoreland, this schedule, for it contains our general grievances.
This I will show the general. Please you lords, in sight of both our battles we may meet, and either end in peace, which God so frame, or to the place of difference call the swords, which must decide it.
My lord, we will do so.
The thing in my bosom tells me no condition of our peace can stand.
Fear you not that. If we can make our peace upon such large terms and so absolute as our conditions shall consist upon, our peace will stand as firm as rocky mountains.
Yea, but our valuation shall be such that every slight and false derived cause, yea, every idle, nice, and wanton reason shall to the king taste of this action.
No, my lord, note this. The king is weary of dainty and such picking grievances, but full well he knows he cannot so precisely weed this land as his misdoubts present occasion. His foes are so enrooted with his friends that plucking to unfix an enemy, he doth unfasten so and shake a friend. So that this land, like an offensive wife that hath enraged him on to offer strokes, as he is striking, holds his infant up, and hangs resolved correction in the arm that was upreared in execution. And therefore be assured, my lord marshal, if we do make our atonement well, our peace will, like a broken limb united, grows stronger for the breaking.
So, he has returned our Lord Westmoreland.
The prince is here at hand, please your lordship, to meet his grace, just distance between our armies.
By your grace of York, in God's name, set forward.
Before ambiguous grace, my lord, we come.
You are well encountered here, Cousin Mowbray. Good day to you, gentle Lord Archbishop, and so to you, Hastings, and to all. My Lord of York, it better showed with you when that your flock assembled by the bell, encircled you to hear with reverence your exposition on the holy text, than now to see you here an iron man, cheering a rout of rebels with your drum, turning the word to sword and life to death. Who hath not heard it spoken, how deep you were within the books of God? To us, the imagined voice of God himself, the very opener and intelligencer between the grace, the sanctities of heaven, and our dull workings. Oh, who shall believe but you misuse the reverence of your place, employ the countenance and grace of heaven, as a false favorite of his prince's name, in deeds dishonorable? You have ta'en up, under the counterfeited zeal of God, the subjects of his substitute my father, and against the peace of heaven and him have here upswarmed them.
Good my lord of Lancaster, I am not here against your father's peace, but as I told my lord of Westmoreland, the time misordered doth in common sense crowd us and crush us to this monstrous form to hold our safety up. I send your grace the parcels and particulars of our griefs, the which hath been with scorn shoved from the court, whereon this Hydra son of war is born, whose dangerous eyes may well be charmed to sleep with grant of our most just and right desires.
Not we ready are to test our men, fortune's the last man.
And though we here fall down, we have supplies to second our attempt. If they miscarry, theirs shall second them. And so success of mischief shall be born, and heir from heir will hold this quarrel up, whilst England shall have generations.
You are too shallow, Hastings, much too shallow to sound the bottom of the aftertimes.
Please, if your grace, to answer them directly. How far forth you do like their articles?
My lord, these grievances shall be with speed redressed. Upon my soul they shall. If, so please you, you discharge your powers unto their several counties, as we will ours, and here, between our armies, let's drink together, friendly, and embrace, that all their eyes may bear those tokens home of our restored love and amity.
I take your princely word for these redresses.
I give it you, and will maintain my word. And thereupon, I drink unto your grace.
I will go and deliver to the army this news of peace. Let them have pay and part. I know it will well please them.
Go, my lord, and discharge our armies too. And, good my lord, so please you, let our trains march by us, that we may peruse the men we could have coped withal.
Go, good Lord Hastings, and ere they be dismissed, let them march by.
I trust, lords, we shall dine tonight together. Now, cousin, wherefore stands our army still?
The leaders, having charge from you to stand, will not go off until they hear you speak.
They know their duties.
My lord, our army is dispersed already. Like youthful steers unyoked, they take their courses east, west, north, south, or like a school broke up, each hurries toward his home and sporting place.
Good tidings, my lord Hastings, for the which I do arrest thee, traitor of high treason. And you, Lord Archbishop, and you, Lord Mowbray, of capital treason I attach you both.
These proceedings just and honorable.
Is your assembly so?
Will you thus break your faith?
I pawn thee none. I promise you redress of these same grievances whereof you did complain, which I will perform by mine honor with a most Christian care. But for you, rebels, look to taste the due meat for rebellion and such acts as yours. Most shallowly did you these arms commence, fondly brought here and foolishly sent hence. Strike up the drums, pursue the scattered stray. God, and not we, hath safely fought today. Some guard these traitors to the block of death, treason's true bed, and yield her up of breath.
What is your name, sir? Of what condition are you, and of what place, I pray?
I am a knight, sir. My name is Colville of the Dale. And are you Sir John Falstaff?
I'm a good a man as he, whoe'er I am. Do ye yield, sir, or shall I sweat for you?
I think you are Sir John Falstaff. And in that thought, yield me.
I have a whole school of tongues in this belly of mine. Not a tongue of them speaks any other word but my name. My womb, my womb, my womb undoes me.
The heat is past, follow no further now. Call in the powers, good cousin. Now, Falstaff, where have you been all this while? When everything is ended, then you come. These tardy tricks of yours on my life, sometime or other, will break some gallows back.
I would be sorry, my lord, but it should be thus. I have traveled here with the extremest inch of possibility, and here, travel-tainted as I am, have in my pure and immaculate valor taken Sir John Colville of the Dale, a furious enemy and valorous knight. But what of that?
It was more of his courtesy than you're deserving.
I know not, for here he is, and here I yield him. And I beseech your grace, let it be booked with the rest of the day's deeds. Therefore, let desert mount, and let me have right.
Thine's too heavy to mount.
Let it shine, then.
Oh, thine's too thick to shine.
Let it do something, my lord, that may do me good, and call it what you will.
Is thy name Colville?
It is, my lord.
A famous rebel art thou, Colville?
And a famous true subject took him.
I am my lord, but as my betters are that led me hither. Had they been ruled by me, you should have won them dearer than you have.
I know not how they sold themselves, but thou, like a kind fellow, gave thyself away gratis, and I thank thee for thee.
Now, have you left pursuit?
Retreat is made and execution stayed.
Send Colville with his confederates to York to present execution. Blunt, lead him hence, and see you guard him sure. And now dispatch we toward the court, my lord. I hear my father the king is sore sick. Our news will go before us to his majesty, and we, with sober speed, will follow it.
My lord, I beseech you, give me leave to go through Gloucestershire, and when you come to court, my lord, stand in your good report.
Fare thee well, Falstaff. I, in my condition, will better speak of you than you deserve.
I would, but you had the wit. 'Twere better than your dukedom. Good faith, this same young sober-blooded boy doth not love me. Nor a man cannot make him laugh, but that's no marvel. He drinks no wine. A good sherrit sack has twofold operation in it. It ascends me into the brain and dries me there of all foolish and dull vapors which environ it. Makes it quick, apprehensive, full of nimble and fiery and delectable thoughts, which delivered over to the voice, the tongue, become excellent wit. The second property of your most excellent sherris is the warming of the blood, which left the liver white and pale, which is the badge of pusillanimity and cowardice. But sherris warms it, makes it course from the inwards to the parts extreme. It illumineth the face, which, as a beacon, gives warning to all the rest of this little kingdom man to arm. And then the vital commoners and inland petty spirits muster me all to their captain the heart, who, great and puffed up with his retinue, doth any deed of courage. This valor comes of sherris. Hereof comes it that Prince Harry is valiant, for the cold blood he did naturally inherit of his father. If I had 1,000 sons, the first humane principle I would teach them should be to forswear thin potations and addict themselves to sack. Now, Bardolph, what's the news?
The army's discharged all and gone.
Oh, let them go. I'll through Gloucestershire, where I will visit with Master Robert Shallow, Esquire. I have him simmering between my finger and my thumb, and shortly will seal with him. Come, away!
Now, lords, if God doth give successful end to this debate that bleedeth at our doors, we will our youth lead on to higher fields and draw no swords but what are sanctified. Our navy is addressed, our power collected, our substitutes in absence well invested. Everything lies level to our wish, only we want a little personal strength and pause us till these rebels now afoot come underneath the yoke of government.
Both which we doubt not, but your majesty shall soon enjoy.
Humphrey, my son of Gloucester, where is the prince, your brother?
I think he's gone to hunt, my lord, at Windsor.
And how accompanied?
I do not know, my lord.
Is not his brother Thomas of Clarence with him?
No, good my lord. He's in presence here.
What would my lord and father?
Oh, nothing but well to thee, Thomas of Clarence. How chance thou art not with the prince, thy brother? He loves thee, and thou dost neglect him, Thomas. Thou hast a better place in his affection than all thy brothers. Cherish it, Thomas, and noble offices thou mayest effect a mediation after I am dead between his greatness and thy other brothers. His temper therefore must be well observed. Chide him for faults, and do it reverently, without perceive his blood inclined to mirth. But being moody, give him line and scope till that his passions, like a whale on ground, confound themselves with working. Learn this, Thomas.
I shall observe him with all care and love.
Why art thou not at Windsor with him, Thomas?
He is not there today. He dines in London.
And how accompanied? Canst thou tell that?
With Poins and other his continual followers.
Most subject is the fattest soil to weeds. And he, the noble image of my youth, is overspread with them. Therefore my grief stretches itself beyond the hour of death. Blood weeps from my heart when I do shape in forms imaginary the unguided days that rotten times that you shall look upon when I am sleeping with my ancestors, or when his headstrong riot hath no curb, when rage and hot blood are his counselors, when means and lavish manners meet together. Oh, with what wings will his affections fly towards fronting peril and opposed decay.
My gracious lord, you look beyond him quite. The prince will, in the perfectness of time, cast off his followers, and their memory shall as a pattern or a measure live by which his grace must meet the lives of others, turning past evils to advantages.
'Tis seldom that the bee doth leave her comb in the dead carrion. Who's here? Lord Harcourt.
Health to my sovereign, and new happiness added to that I am to deliver. Prince John, your son, doth kiss your grace's hand. There is not now a rebel sword on Shea, but peace puts forth her olive everywhere. The manner in which this action hath been born, here at your leisure may your highness read with every course in his particular.
Oh, Lord Harcourt, thou art a summer bird that ever in the haunch of winter sings the lifting up of day.
Your grace, here's more news. The Earl of Northumberland and the Lord Bardolph, with a great power of English and of Scots, are by the Sheriff of Yorkshire overthrown. The manner and true order of the fight, this packet, please you, contains at large.
Now, wherefore should this good news make me sick? Will fortune never come with both hands full, but write her fair words still in foulest letters? She either gives a stomach and no food, such are the poor in health, or else a feast takes away the stomach, such are the rich that have abundance and enjoy it not. I should rejoice now at this happy news, and now my sight fails and my brain is giddy. Come near me, I am much ill.
Royal father! Patience, princess, you do know these fits are with his highness very ordinary. Stand from him, give him air, he'll straight be well.
This apoplexy will certain be his end.
I pray you take me up, bear me hence into some other chamber, softly pray. Let there be no noise made, my gentle friends. Set me the crown upon my pillow here.
His eye is hollow and he changes much.
Less noise, less noise.
Who saw the Duke of Clarence?
I'm here, brother. full of heaviness. How now, reign within doors and not abroad? How doth the king?
Exceeding ill.
Heard he the good news yet? Tell it him.
He altered much upon the hearing.
For if he be sick with joy, he'll recover without physic.
Sweet prince, speak low. The king, your father, is disposed to sleep.
Let us withdraw into the other room.
Will it please your grace to go along with us?
No, I will sit and watch here by the king. Why doth the crown lie there upon his pillow, being so troublesome a bedfellow? Oh, polished perturbation, golden care, that keeps the ports of slumber open wide to many a watchful night. Sleep with it now, yet not so sound or half so deeply sweet as he whose brow with homely biggin bound snores out the watch of night. Oh, majesty, when thou dost pinch thy bearer, thou dost sit like a rich armor worn in the heat of day, that scalds with safety. By his gates of breath there lies a downy feather which stirs not. Did he suspire that light and weightless down perforce must move? My gracious lord! My father! This sleep is sound indeed. This is a sleep that from this golden wriggle hath divorced so many English kings. Thy due from me is tears and heavy sorrows of the blood, which nature, love, and filial tenderness shall, oh dear father, pay thee plenteously. My due from thee is this imperial crown, which, as immediate as thy place and blood, derives itself to me. Lo, here it sits, which God shall guard, and put the world's whole strength into one giant arm. It shall not force this lineal honor from me. This from thee will I to mine leave, as 'tis left to me.
Warwick! Gloucester! Clarence!
The king calls. What would thy majesty?
Why did you leave me here alone, my lords?
We left the prince, my brother, here, my liege, who undertook to sit and watch by you.
The Prince of Wales is here. Now let me see him. Where is the crown? Who took it from my pillow?
When we withdrew, my liege, we left it here.
The prince hath ta'en it hence. Go seek him out. Is he so hasty that he doth suppose my sleep, my death? Find him, my lord of Warwick, and chide him hither. This part of his conjoins with my disease and helps to end me. See, sons, what things you are. How quickly nature falls into revolt when gold becomes her object. For this, the foolish, over-careful fathers have broke their sleep with thoughts, their brains with care, their bones with industry. When, like a bee culling from every flower the virtuous sweets, our thighs packed with wax, our mouths with honey, we bring it to the hive, and like the bee are murdered for our pains. And where is he that will not stay so long till his friend sickness hath determined me?
My gracious lord, I found the prince in the next room, washing with kindly tears his gentle cheeks, with such a deep demeanor of sorrow that tyranny, which never quaffed but blood, would by beholding him have washed his knife with gentle eye drops. He is coming hither.
Wherefore did he take away the crown? Lo, where he comes. Depart the chamber, leave us here alone.
I never thought to hear you speak again.
Thy wish was father, Harry, to that thought. I stay too long by thee. I weary thee. Dost thou so hunger for mine empty chair that thou wilt needs invest thee with my honors before thy hour be ripe? O foolish youth, thou seekst the greatness that will overwhelm thee.
No,
Stay but a little, for my cloud of dignity is held from falling by so weak a wind that it will quickly drop. My day is dim. For thou hast stolen that which after some few hours were thine without offense, and at my death thou hast sealed up my expectation. Thy life did manifest thou lovest me not, thou wilt have me die, assured of it. Thou hidest 1,000 daggers in thy heart to stab at half an hour of my life. But canst thou not forbear me half an hour? Then get thee gone. Dig my grave thyself, and bid the merry bells ring to thine ear that thou art crowned, not that I am dead. For now the time is come to mock at form. Harry the Fifth is crowned up. Vanity down, royal state. Oh, you sage counselors, hence. Neighbor confines, now purge you of your scum. Have you a ruffian that will swear, drink, dance, revel the night, rob, murder, and commit the oldest sins, the newest kind of ways? Be happy, he will trouble you no more. England shall double gild his treble guilt. England shall give him honor, office, might. Oh, my poor kingdom, sick with civil blows. When that my care could not withhold thy riot, what wilt thou do when riot is thy care? Thou wilt become a wilderness again, people with wolves, thy old inhabitants.
No, pardon me, my liege! There is your crown, and he that wears the crown immortally long guardeth yours. God witness with me, when I here came in and found no course of breath within your majesty, how cold it struck my heart. If I do feign, oh, let me in my present wildness die, and never live to show the incredulous world the noble change that I have purposed. Coming to look on you, thinking you dead, and dead almost, my liege, to think you were, I spake unto this crown as having sense, and thus upbraided it. The care on thee depending hath fed upon the body of my father. Therefore thou best of gold art worst of gold. Other, less fine in carat, is more precious. But thou, most fine, most honored, most renowned, hast each thy bearer up. Thus, my most royal liege, accusing it, I put it on my head, to try with it as with an enemy that had before my face murdered my father. But if it did infect my blood with joy, or swell my thoughts to any strain of pride, if any rebel or vain spirit of mine did with the least affection of a welcome give entertainment to the might of it, let God forever keep it from my head.
Oh, my son, God put it in thy mind to take it hence, that thou mightst win the more thy father's love. Speaking so wisely, in excuse of it, come to me, Harry. Sit thou by my bed, and hear, I think, the very latest counsel that ever I shall breathe. God knows, my son, by what bypaths and indirect crooked ways I met this crown, and I myself know well how troublesome it sat upon my head. It seemed in me but as an honor snatched with boisterous hand that daily grew to quarrel and to bloodshed, wounding supposed peace. All these bold fears thou seest with peril I have answered, for all my reign hath been but as a scene acting that argument, and now my death changes the mode, for what in me was purchased falls upon thee in a more fairer sort. Yet though thou standst more sure than I could do, thou art not firm enough. Therefore, my Harry, be it thy course to busy, giddy minds with foreign quarrels. That action hence borne out may waste the memory of the former days. More would I, but my lungs are wasted so that strength of speech is utterly denied me. How I came by the crown, O God, forgive, and grant it may with thee in true peace live.
My gracious liege, you won it, wore it, kept it, gave it me, then plain and right must my possession be, which I, with more than with a common pain, against all the world will rightfully maintain.
Oh, look, here comes my John of Lancaster.
Health, peace, and happiness unto my royal father.
Happiness and peace thou bringst, son John, but health, alack, with youthful wings has flown this bare withered trunk upon thy sight. My worldly business makes a period.
Let it be cast at paid. Sir John, you shall not be
No, sir! A new link to the bucket must need be had, and do you mean to stop any of William's wages about the sack he lost the other night at Hinkley Fair?
He shall answer it. Some pigeons, Davy. Tell William Cook.
Do the man of war stay all night, sir?
Yea, Davy, I will use him well. A friend of the court is better than a penny in purse. Use his men well, Davy, for they are arrant knaves and backbite.
Worse than they are backbitten, sir, for they have marvelous foul linen.
Well, conceited, Davy, about that business, Davy. Where are you, Sir John? Come, off with your boots. Give me your hand, Master Bardolph.
I am glad to see your worship.
I thank you with all my heart, kind Master Bardolph. Come, Sir John.
I'll follow you, Master Shallow. Bardolph, look to the horses. If I were sold into quantities, I would make 4 dozen bearded hermit staves as Master Shallow. It is a wonderful thing to see the dissemblable coherence of his men's spirits and his. They, by observing him, do act like foolish justices, and he, by conversing with them, is turned into a justice-like serving man. Their spirits are so married in conjunction with participation in society that they flock together in consent like so many wild geese. It is certain that either wise bearing or ignorant carriage is caught as men take disease, one of the other. Therefore, let men take heed of the company that they keep. I will devise enough matter of this Master Shallow to keep Prince Harry in continual laughter.
well. His cares are now all ended.
No, not dead.
He walks the way of nature. To our purposes, he lives no more.
But would His Majesty called me with him? The service that I truly did his life hath left me open to all injuries.
Indeed, I think the young king loves you not.
I know he doth not, and to arm myself to welcome the condition of the time.
Here come the heavy issue of dead Harry. Oh, that the living Harry had the temper of him, the worst of these three gentlemen. How many nobles then must hold their places that must strike sail to spirits of vile sword?
But God, I fear all will be overturned.
Good morrow, Cousin Work. Good morrow.
Good morrow, cousin.
We meet like men that had forgot to speak.
We do remember, but our argument is all too heavy to admit much talk.
Well, peace be with him that has made us heavy.
Peace be with us, lest we be heavier.
Though no man be assured what grace to find, you stand in coldest expectation. I am the sorrier, would 'twere otherwise.
You must now speak, Sir John Falstaff fair, which swims against your stream of quality.
Sweet princess, what I did in honor, led by the impartial conduct of my soul. If truth and upright innocency fail me, unto the king, my master that is dead.
Here comes the prince.
Good morrow, and God save your majesty.
This new and gorgeous garment, Majesty, sits not so easy on me as you think. Brothers, you mix your sadness with some fear. This is the English, not the Turkish court. Not Amurath and Amurath succeeds, but Harry harried. Yet, be sad, good brothers, for by my faith, it very well becomes you. Sorrow so royally in you appears that I will deeply put the fashion on and wear it in my heart. Why then, be sad, but entertain no more of it, good brothers, than of a joint burden laid upon us all. For me, by heaven, I bid you be assured, I'll be your father and your brother too. Let me but bear your love, I will bear your cares. Yet weep that Harry's dead, and so will I. But Harry lives, that shall convert these tears by number into hours of happiness.
We hope no more from your majesty.
You all look strangely on me, and you most. You are, I think, assured I love you not.
I am assured, if I be measured rightly, your majesty hath no just cause to hate me.
No? How might a prince of my great hopes forget so great indignities you laid upon me? What? Rate, rebuke, and roughly sent to prison the immediate heir of England? Was this easy? May this be washed in Lethe and forgotten?
But then use the person of your father. The image of his power lay then in me. In the administration of his law, whilst I was busy for the Commonwealth, your highness pleased to forget my place. The majesty and power of law and justice, the image of the king, whom I presented and struck me in my very seat of judgment. Whereon, as an offender to your father, I gave bold way to my authority and did commit you. If the deed were ill, be you contented, wearing now the garland, to have a son set your decrees at naught, to trip the course of law and blunt the sword that guards the peace and safety of your person, nay more, to spurn at your most royal image and mock your workings in a second body. Question your royal thoughts. Make the case yours. Be now the father. I propose the son. In your own dignity so much profaned, behold yourself so by a son disdained. And then, imagine me taking your part. In your power, soft silencing your son. After this cold considerance sentence me, and as you are a king, speak in your state. What I have done that which became my place, my person, or my liege's sovereignty.
You are right, Justice, and you weigh this well. And I do wish your honors may increase till you do live to see a son of mine offend you and obey you as I did. You did commit me, but for which I do commit into your hand the unstained sword that you have used to bear, with this remembrance, that you use the same with the like bold, just, and impartial spirit as you have done against me. There is my hand. You shall be as a father to my youth. My voice shall sound as you do prompt my ear, and I shall stoop and humble my intents to your well-practiced, wise directions. And princes all, believe me, I beseech you, my father is gone wild into his grave, for in his tomb lie my affections. And with his spirit, sadly, I survive to frustrate prophecies and to raise out rotten opinion that hath written me down after my seeming. The tide of blood in me hath proudly flowed in vanity till now. Now doth it turn and ebb back to the sea, where it shall mingle with the state of floods and flow henceforth in formal majesty. Now call we our high court of parliament, and let us choose such limbs of noble counsel that the great body of our state may go in equal rank with the best governed nation, that war or peace or both at once shall be as things acquainted and familiar to us, in the which you, Father, shall have the foremost hand. And God consigning to my good intents, no prince or peer shall have just cause to say, God shorten Harry's happy life one day.
Nay, you shall see my orchard, where in an arbor we will eat and so forth. Come, cousin, silence, and then to bed.
God, you have a goodly dwelling here, and he's rich.
Baron, beggars all, Sir John. By the mass, I've drunk too much sack at supper.
Now sit down. Come, cousin.
Be merry, be merry, be merry, be merry heart.
Well, there's a merry heart.
Sad females here and lusty lads roam here and there. Be merry.
I give you a help for that anon, Master Silent.
Give Master Bardolph some wine, Davy.
Sweet sir, sit. I'll be with you anon. What you want in meat, we'll have in drink.
Be merry, Master Bardolph.
Be merry, my wife has all, for women are shrews, both short and tall. 'Tis merry and all with beards waggle, and welcome merry Shrewsbury.
I do not think Master Silence was a man of this metal.
Oh, why? I have been married twice, and once. Here now. A cup of wine, sir. A cup of wine that's brisk and fine, and sung unto the leaving mine. And the merry heart is long, yea.
Health and long life to you, Master Silence.
Fill the cup and let it come, and I'll bid you a mile to the ball. Oh, Tom!
Master Bardolph, welcome. If thou wants anything and wilt not ask, beshrew thy heart. I'll drink to Master Bardolph and to all the caballeros about London.
I hope to see London once ere I die.
I hope to see you there, Davy.
By the mass, you'll crack a court together, huh? Will you not, Master Bardolph?
Aye, sir, the pox.
The knave will stick by thee, I can assure thee that.
Aye, and I'll stick by him.
Why, there spoke a king. Lack nothing. Be merry. Oh, look who's here.
Sir John! How now, Pistol? God save you! What wind blew you hither, Pistol?
Not the ill wind which blows no man to good. Sweet knight, thou art now one of the greatest men in this realm.
Methinks he be but good man Puff, a parson.
Puff in thy teeth, most recreant coward.
Carry Master Silence to bed.
Sir John, I am thy pistol and thy friend, and helter-skelter have I rode to thee, and tidings do I bring, and lucky joys, and golden times, and happy news of price.
Well, I pray you deliver them like a man of this world.
Sir John, thy tender lambkin now is king. Harry the Fifth's the man. Pistol speaks the truth. When Pistol lies, do this, and fake me like the bragging spec. Spaniards!
Wait, is the old king dead?
As nail in door, the things I speak are just...
Away, Bardolph! Saddle my horses! Master Robert Shallow! Choose any office in the land thou wilt, 'tis thine! Pistol, I will double charge thee with dignity! Master Robert Shallow, my lord Shallow, be thou what thou wilt, I am fortune's steward! Get on thy boots, we must ride all night! Oh, sweet Pistol! Oh, sweet Pistol! Oh, away, Lord! Oh, away! Boot, Master Shallow, boot! I know the young king is sick for me! Let us take any man's horses. The walls of England are at my commandment. Oh! Blessed are they who have been my friends, and woe to the Lord Chief Justice!
Let vultures vile seize on clubs also. Where is the life that late I led, say they? Why, here it is! Welcome these pleasant days!
Thou hast drawn my shoulder out of joint!
You will have whipping cheer enough, I warrant you. There has been a man or two lately killed about you.
The child I now go with to miscarry. Thou were better thou had struck thy mother, thou paper-faced villain!
I would the Lord that Sir John would come! He would make us a bloody day to somebody! I pray God the fruit of her womb not miscarry!
Thank you! You will have 12 pigeons again. You have but 11 now. Come, I charge you both go with me, for the man is dead that you and Pistol beat amongst you.
Have you what, you fat pagan censer? I shall have you soundly swing for this!
Come, you she-knight Aaron, come!
Oh, come, you rogue, come! Bring me to a justice!
Come, you starved bloodhound, come!
Very well.
Stand here, Master Robert Shallow. I will make the king do your grace. I will leer upon him as he comes by, and do but mark the countenance that he will give me. Had I had time to have made new liveries. But this poor show doth better. It doth infer the zeal I had to see him.
It does so.
My earnest affection.
It does so.
My devotion.
It doth.
As it were to ride day and night. Not to remember, not to deliberate, not to have patience to shift me.
It is best, sir.
No, but to stand, stained with travel, sweating with desire to see him, thinking of nothing else, putting all affairs else into oblivion, as if there were nothing else but to see him.
My knight! I will inflame thy noble liver and make thee rage! Thy doll and Helen of thy noble thoughts is in base durance and contagious prison, haled thither by most mechanical and dirty hands. Rouse up revenge from even den with fell Electo's snake, for doll is in, Pistol speaks not but truth.
I will deliver her.
There roar the sea and
Long live the king!
Long live the king!
Lord Chief Justice, speak to that vain man.
Have you your wits? Know you a dish to speak?
My king, my Jove, I speak to thee, my heart.
I know thee not, old man. Fall to thy prayers. How ill white hairs become a fool and jester. I have long dreamed of such a kind of man, so serpent-swelled, so old, and so profane. But being awaked, I do despise my dream. Make less thy body hence, and more thy grace. Leave gormandizing, know the grave doth gape for thee, thrice wider than for other men. Reply not to me with a fool-born jest. Presume not that I am the thing I was. For God doth know, so shall the world perceive that I have turned away my former self. So will I those that kept me company. When thou dost hear I am as I have been, approach me, and thou shalt be as thou wast, the tutor and the feeder of my riots. Till then, I banish thee on pain of death, as I have done the rest of my misleaders, not to come near our person by 10 mile. For competence of life, I will allow you that lack of means enforce you not to evils. And as we hear you do reform yourselves, we shall, according to your strengths and qualities, give you advancement. Be it your charge, my lord, to see performed the tenor of our word. Set on!
Master Shallow, I owe you £1,000.
Yea, marry, Sir John, which I beseech you to let me have home with me.
That can hardly be. I will be sent for tonight in private. He must seem thus to the world. Fear not your advancement. I will be the man yet that will make you great.
I cannot well perceive how, unless you should put me into your doublet and stuff me out with straw. I beseech you, good Sir John, let me have 500 of my 1,000.
Sir, I am as good as my word. This that you heard was but a color.
The color I fear you will die in, Sir John.
Fear no colors. Come with me, come to dinner, Lieutenant Pistol Bardolph. I will be sent for tonight.
Go! Carry Sir John Falstaff to the fleet. Take all his company along with him.
My lord! My lord!
I cannot now speak. I will hear you soon. Take them away.
I like this fair proceeding of the king's. He hath intent all of his wanted followers be very well provided for, but all are banished till their conversations appear more wise and modest to the world.
And so they have.
The king hath called his parliament, my lord.
He hath?
I lay odds that ere this year expire, we bear our civil swords and native fire as far as France. I heard a bird so sing, whose music to my thinking pleased the king. Come, will you hence?